how are you today?
Good, how are you doing today?
Good. What's your name?
Baylor Tolner, what's your name?
Blake Baker.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So, we're going to talk about harvest today. So, tell me a little bit about harvest.
Well, first off, there's the preparation. That starts from the time we finish harvesting. We gotta plow it up, and keep all the weeds out of the field because they take your nutrition and your moisture out of the ground. So you have to keep it plowed up the entire time.
So, when you're saying you keep it plowed up and get the weeds out, so when you plow, the weeds get taken out, or?
Yes, as we plow, it kills the weeds and it uproots them. And we start plowing from the day we finish cutting the last crop, and then we'll keep it plowed the entire summer until we start planting again at the end of September and the early October.
Okay, so are you planting right now then, since it's October?
Yes, currently we are in the process of planting wheat right now.
Okay.
And that is quite the operation.
Okay, so what kind of operation is that? Like, what goes all into sowing the wheat?
Well, when you sow the wheat, you have to do one last plow and kill all the weeds because you don't want any weeds growing as you're planting your wheat. You plow it, and then we run another cultivator over it to make the seed bed just as smooth and nice as possible. And we'll plant the wheat, and also as we're planting, we are putting fertilizer in with it as well at the same time.
So fertilizer, like what kind of fertilizer? Like what kind of?
Fertilizer, it's nitrogen and can't think of what else is in it, but we'll put it in at the same time.
And it just kind of plumps up the weed, or?
Yeah, it just gives it that early boost, to get germinated and get out of the head.
Okay. And so after you get it sowed, what's the process after that?
After you get it sowed, then you need a good rain to get it up, and then you'll start running cattle on it until March 15th, and then you pull the cattle off, and then it kind of finish growing, and then you'll harvest it again.
Okay.
And
so you said March 15th?
Yes. That's the last day you can run cattle on it.
Okay. So that day's pretty special, huh?
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
So what is like your favorite thing about being a farmer and harvesting wheat and things like that?
I'd have to say my favorite part is when we harvest it. I love running the combine. I own my own combine, and I could spend hours and days in there, and it doesn't bother me at all.
So what's a combine? Tell me about that.
It's the harvesting unit. It thrashes the seed, and it separates the seed from the rest of the straw, and it's a STS series, which means it uses a blowing apparatus to separate the seed, and then the seed falls through these little separators. Then it goes in your bin, and then you haul it to the elevator.
Okay. So have you always used the combine that you own right now to kind of harvest your wheat, or?
No, we've had these newer combines for about 6 years now. Before that, we used 8820s, and they didn't have the STS, they didn't have the blowing, so they were more of a older tradition, so it had to like crush it and chomp it, and it didn't get as much wheat out of the heads as the newer ones do.
Okay, so you're saying that, kind of the new combines you're using
innovation has really changed the way we've harvested.
And it's more efficient.
It's definitely more efficient.
Okay, interesting. So how long have you been harvesting wheat?
Since I was in diapers. My dad has had me on his knee running the wheel of that combine since I was just a wee kid. But I drove my first combine when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
And I was running the tractor catching people on the go, which is unloading them, unloading the combine while it's still in the field. And I did that one the first time when I was 8 years old, and I made the paper.
You made the paper?
Mm-hmm.
In your hometown?
In my hometown, yes.
And so was there a picture up of you and everything like that?
Yes.
That's neat. That's very special. So do you think that you'll continue doing this forever in your lifetime? Or?
I think it'll continue to be a hobby for the rest of my life. I mean, it runs in my family. I'm a third generation harvester, custom harvester. And I mean, my grandpa loved it, my dad loved it, and I love it. So it'll continue to be one of my favorite hobbies for the rest of my life.
So it'll just a tradition that keeps on going and going and going.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, well, I appreciate you talking to me today about harvesting, and I learned a plethora of information about it, so I really enjoyed getting to talk to you.
You bet. Thank you.